Hi there, welcome to today's market analysis. So for today's video over here, we'll be talking and sharing a view on three pairs, mainly the dollar Canadian, the dollar Swiss franc, and the dollar yen. So let's get started with the dollar Canadian on a daily basis, on the daily chart. Okay, what we have observed so far is from this high, the market has been falling pretty impulsively, and just this week itself recently it had started to stall around this zone. Okay, so if we start to go down to the lower time frame, okay, on the 4-hour time frame, what we can see is that dollar Canadian seems to be developing as a flat pattern. Okay, now how fast or how long it needs to eventually complete this, we of course would not know, but based on this right now, it seems like the market can push up one more time to give us a completed 3-wave correction, and if that is the case, there's a high probability this would then still come back down, retest this low, maybe a double bottom before the push, or even eventually break off that low. Okay, so for now, based on this, I would personally suggest that perhaps what we want to do is to maintain a very neutral perspective and give it time on dollar CAD to develop before we make any decision as to whether to buy or sell. Right, so that's on dollar Canadian. Dollar Swiss franc. Okay, so on a higher time frame perspective, what we can see is no doubt is in a range bound environment. Okay, especially on the daily time frame, we can see and observe that the market has yet to break below this structure for a couple of times. Okay, similarly on the top side, we do have this little double top here, and then of course this area here where market tends to range around it. So as of the daily time frame, okay, dollar Swiss franc tell us that we do not really have a very clear-cut direction that we want to focus on. Okay, going down to the 4-hour time frame, we do see an impulse push lately, and then after that, the market start to retrace, but this retracement seems to be a little bit more on the corrective side of things. Okay, now before we rush in to sell, okay, I would personally say that if you're conservative, you want to give it more time. Of course, this can come down perhaps very slow, okay, and then go back up, and that would then be a very huge pattern, and that will be the confirmation that this can perhaps take it to the downside. Okay, for that to happen, we'll probably need to wait a couple of weeks. So for now, if you're actually short term and would like to look for opportunity on dollar franc, okay, that would say maybe short term, you just want to focus on the sell side, right? Something like that. Okay, so that's on dollar Swiss franc. Now the last one here we're going to cover is on dollar yen. Okay, dollar yen on the daily time frame is looking interesting because we do have this little pattern here, and you can see this as the market goes higher, it lacks the momentum, and recently it does give us that impulse push. Okay, so this pattern here, you can call it a diagonal, you can call it a wedge, some people might just call it triple top formation. Okay, whatever it is basically a rejection pattern. Okay, and there's a high chance that we're going to see dollar yen perhaps come lower, okay, and come back to retest this previous low somewhere around 112.50. Okay, now in line with the equities generally are falling as well. Okay, you probably observe that the yen would be strengthening, and that will push the dollar yen price lower as well. Okay, so that's on a daily view. I think dollar yen is rather straightforward and very clear on the daily view. Now on the 4-hour time frame, depending on strategy, of course, okay, the direction you might want to look out for is to the downside. Okay, but personally for me, this is not a sell setup yet. But all of us use various strategy, right? So for me, dollar yen, I'll primarily focus on the downside. If I get a sell opportunity, if I get a sell setup, I'll probably gonna take that. Right? So that's all for today's video over here. Okay, so a general reminder again to always manage your risks, and I'll see you guys next.